Welcome to Scholastic IQ, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have a great show in store for you tonight with two great teams, so let's go ahead and introduce them. On the bottom, we have Granite City with Andrew, Mila, Emma, and Ben, and up top, we have Sesser-Valier with Hannah, Emily, Anaya, and Andrea. Now, before we get into the questions, let's just do a quick recap of our rules. We'll start out with some toss-up questions. Those are worth 10. If a team gets it right, they move on to a bonus question, which is worth 20 and can be stolen for 10. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get a question wrong, it is 5 points for the other team. So just be right, and we won't have a problem. All right? If everybody's ready, let's get into the questions. What book depicting a boarded-up Lurkum, where the word unless is pondered by the onceler, was written? Hannah.
The Lorax.
The Lorax is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what string instrument played by Regina Carter was also played by 18th century composer Chevalier de Saint-Georges, sometimes dubbed the Black Mozart? So you guys are all out of time. Granite City, chance to steal.
Violin.
Violin is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what element, the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust, is found in both sand and quartz and is a metalloid used in computer chips? Ben.
Silicon.
Silicon is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what word did the Daily Mail coin in 1906 to refer to women such as Emmeline Pankhurst, who advocated for the women's right to vote in Britain?
Suffragette.
Suffragette is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, Jewel Cave National Monument and Wind Cave National Park are in what state, which is also home to the Crazy Horse Memorial and Ben?
South Dakota.
South Dakota is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Amazon Web Services provides what type of computing in which users manage resources over the internet without regard to physical infrastructure?
No answer.
All right, Sesser-Valier, chance to steal.
Quantum.
Quantum is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was cloud computing. All right, for your next question, what senator who wrote the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act with Russ Feingold came from Arizona and lost the 2008 presidential race to Barack Obama? Ben.
Mitt Romney.
That's incorrect. I think Ben's suddenly realizing what the answer is. Ben, if you want to say it, it is.
Was it McCain?
Yeah, it was McCain. Yeah. That'll take us to our next question. What play in which a plan to build summer cottages is rejected by Madame Renefskaya was written by Anton Chekhov and named for symbolic trees? All the time. The answer we're looking for was the Cherry Orchard. The Cherry Orchard. All right, for your next question, what company whose CEO David Coleman was criticized for a new African American studies curriculum runs the high school AP and SAT programs? Hannah.
College Board.
College Board is correct. Well done. For your bonus, pencil and paper ready. What product results from multiplying the square root of 20 times the square root of 80? So you guys are all out of time. Granite City, chance to steal.
5.
5 is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was 40. 40. And that'll take us to our first media question. This side character works in a park alongside Ben.
Muscle Man.
Muscle Man is correct. Well done. And since that is a media question, there is no bonus question, so we'll just take it back to toss-ups. Next toss-up. Directly evaluating what operation can lead to indeterminate forms that can be resolved using L'Hopital's rule, finding the value a function gets near? So all the time. The answer we're looking for was limit. Limit. Next toss-up. What American author who wrote about Boy Willie and Bernice in The Piano Lesson depicted garbage truck driver Troy Maxon in his play Fences? The answer we're looking for there was August Wilson. August Wilson. Our next question. What businessman who claimed to own a half monkey, half fish called the Frigi Mermaid promoted hoaxes as part of a circus he ran with James Bailey? Emma.
Barnum.
Barnum is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Sway Lee sings You're Left in the Dust Unless I Stuck By Ya in the chorus of what 2018 song, a collaboration with Post Malone?
Sunflower.
Sunflower is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What kind of measure was infamously botched in 1936 by the Literary Digest and is provided by firms such as Zogby and Gallup to gauge public opinion? Ben.
Poles.
Poles is correct. Hold on. For your bonus, what type of elastic wave cannot propagate in liquids with low viscosity and is detected by seismographs after P waves? So there's a lot of time. Sesser-Valier, your chance to steal.
Seismic waves.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was S waves or secondary waves. All right, back to our toss-ups. What quantity denoted Z, that is proportional to hydrostatic pressure, is high for Hadal zones, such as the Marianas Trench, and increases downward? Ben.
Pressure.
Pressure is incorrect. It was not pressure, but depth. Depth. Our next question. What emperor reclaimed power by ordering the execution of Sejanus, spent years secluded on Capri Island, and preceded Caligula as the second Roman emperor? Nyla.
Claudius.
Claudius is incorrect. The answer looking for there was Tiberius. Tiberius. And that will take us to our next media question. This 85-year-old veteran of Hollywood, Hannah.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman is correct. Well done.
Good one.
Back to our toss-ups. What chess piece, which is captured when winning the exchange, begins a game on a corner space and can move any distance? Ben.
Rook.
Rook is correct. Well done. For your bonus, at what 1954 battle did the Viet Minh, led by Vo Nguyen Giap, defeat the French colonial forces, driving France out of Indochina?
No answer.
This is your chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer looking for there was Dien Bien Phu. Dien Bien Phu. Okay, next question. What city contains the seat of the Maronite Church, was the site of a massive August 2020 explosion in its port, and is the capital of Lebanon? The answer looking for was Beirut. Beirut. Next question. What empire committed the Herero genocide in Namibia and defended its African colonies from the Triple Entente before losing World War I? Ben.
Germany.
Germany is correct. Hold on. For your bonus, the energy of a photon equals its frequency times what constant whose reduced form results from dividing it by 2 pi?
Gamma.
That's incorrect. Sesser-Valier, chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer we're looking for was Planck's constant. For your next question, what god who married Ariadne after Theseus abandoned her was sewn into Zeus's thigh after the death of his mother, Semele, and was the god of wine? Milo.
Dionysus.
Dionysus is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Dr. Frank Jobe performed the first ulnar collateral ligament replacement on the elbow of what Dodgers pitcher for whom the surgery is commonly named?
Tommy John.
Tommy John is correct. Well done. Next question. What cellular process which terminates upon reaching UAG or one of the other stop codons involves ribosomes using tRNA to synthesize a protein? So all the time the answer we're looking for is translation. Next question. What TV show introduced a men's lodge called the Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes and was set in the town of Bedrock, the home of Fred's Stone Age family? Hannah.
The Flintstones.
Flintstones is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what annual meteor shower is caused by the Earth's passing through debris left by the Swift-Tuttle comet and peaks between July and August?
Orion.
That is incorrect. Granite City, chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer looking for was Perseid, the Perseid. And that'll take us to our next media question. This Disney XD animated Ben.
Star versus the Forces of Evil.
That is correct. Well done. Back to our toss-ups. What treaty which gave the U.S. fishing rights in the Gulf of St. Lawrence was signed in 1783 to officially end the American Revolution? Ben.
Treaty of Versailles.
That is incorrect. Hannah.
Treaty of Paris.
That is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in July 2023, pro-Russian soldiers in what African country launched a coup that deposed President Mohamed Bazoum?
No answer.
No answer. Granite City, chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer looking for there was Niger. And that'll take us to our lightning round. The way our lightning round works is each team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a certain topic. Now, Sesser-Valier, since you guys are trailing this one, you guys get the first choice. Your choices are 20th century painters, ends in ice, postal abbreviations, or 1920.
Ends in ice.
Ends in ice it is. All right. Given these nouns that end in the consecutive letters ICE, 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. Opposite of virtue. You can pass as well.
Pass.
Cost of buying something.
Price.
Law enforcement officers.
Police.
Care for the terminally ill.
Hospice.
Lack of courage.
Pass.
Someone learning a trade from an expert.
Apprentice.
Drinking cup or goblet.
Pass.
Water channel with a movable gate.
Pass.
Preconceived judgment or opinion.
Pass.
Yellowish discoloration of the skin.
Jaundice.
Opposite of virtue.
Pass.
A lack of courage. So you guys are all out of time, so we'll go through the ones that you missed. The opposite of virtue was vice. The lack of courage is cowardice. Drinking cup or goblet is chalice. Water channel with a movable gate is a sluice. And preconceived judgment or opinion is a prejudice. Prejudice. All right, Granite City, it is now your guys' turn. Your choices are postal abbreviations, 1920, or 20th century painters.
1920.
1920 it is. Answer the following about the year 1920. 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. Senator who was elected president.
Coolidge.
That's incorrect. Field of chemistry that studies heat, for which Walther Nernst won a Nobel Prize.
Furnace.
That's incorrect. German party led by Adolf Hitler that formed that year.
Nazi Party.
Author who published her first book about Detective Hercule Poirot.
Agatha Christie.
International group and UN precursor that began meeting.
League of Nations.
Pandemic that killed 50 million people.
Spanish flu.
Author who published This Side of Paradise, his first novel.
Pass.
Belgian city that hosted the Olympics.
Pass.
Sociologist of the Protestant ethic who died at 56.
Pass.
Sculptor who finished the statue at the Lincoln Memorial.
Pass.
Author who published This Side of... So you guys are all out of time, so we'll go through the ones you missed. The senator who was elected president was Harding, Warren G. Harding. The field of chemistry that studies heat, for which Walther Nernst won a Nobel Prize, is thermodynamics. The author who published This Side of Paradise, first novel, was F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Belgian city that hosted the Olympics was Antwerp. The sociologist of the Protestant ethic who died at 56 was Max Weber. And the sculptor who finished the statue at the Lincoln Memorial was Daniel Chester French. Daniel Chester French. All right, so let's take a look at our scores after the lightning round. We have Granite City on top, 200 to Sesser-Valier's 100. So very close game going into our second half. All right, let's get back to our toss-ups. What play whose heroine is helped by Touchstone includes the All the World's a Stage speech and is a Shakespeare comedy set in the Forest of Arden? These are all the time. The answer we're looking for was As You Like It. As You Like It. For your next question, what Central American country where former figure skater Michelle Kwan has served as U.S. ambassador since 2022 has its capital at Belmopan? The answer looking for there was Belize. Belize. Next question. The no-hair theorem characterizes what astronomical objects that can be formed in a supernova and which have an event horizon around a Ben.
Black hole.
Black hole is correct. Well done. For your bonus, con man Victor Lustig twice tried to sell what wrought iron lattice structure on the Champ de Mars?
Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what religion whose Gurdwara temples include a kitchen providing free meals called Langar reads the Adi Granth and was founded by Guru Nanak? The answer we're looking for was Sikhism. Sikhism. For your next question, what opera in which the catalog aria is sung by Leprello is a Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart opera whose title Womanizer is dragged to hell? Hannah.
Amadeus.
That is incorrect. There's all the time. The answer we're looking for was Don Giovanni. Don Giovanni. And that'll take us to our next media question. This song was released with the start of 2023 and commanded the #1 Anaya.
Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
Flowers is correct. Well done. And to our next toss-up, in what country did Jean-Paul Prats recently become CEO of the state-owned petroleum firm Petrobras, which is headquartered in Rio de Janeiro? Andrew.
Brazil.
Brazil is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what actress who was born in Cuba portrayed Marilyn Monroe in Blonde and a nurse who cannot lie without vomiting in Knives Out?
No answer.
Sesser-Valier, chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer looking for was Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas. Your next toss-up, what plant whose golden form is genetically modified and whose Asian species has a scientific name, Oryza sativa, is grown in namesake paddies? Milo.
Rice.
Rice is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the 1492 Alhambra Decree expelled Jews from what newly united European country?
Rome.
That is incorrect. Your chance to steal.
No answer.
Truly, nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition as its span.
Oh.
Yeah.
For your next toss-up, what wars, one of which ended by the Treaty of Tientsin, led to the ceding of Kowloon to Britain and were named for a drug trafficked into China? Ben.
Opium Wars.
Opium Wars is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what device named for a German physicist is used to detect ionizing radiation, which causes it to emit clicking sounds?
Geiger counter.
That is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what structure contains the Y and Z holes, aligns with the summer solstice, and is a circular collection of upright rocks in southern England? Ben.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Hawaiian island was hit by a 2023 wildfire that severely damaged its town of Lahaina?
Maui.
Maui is correct. Well done. I'm getting the sense that might have been a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Never hurts to guess.
He's the big one.
Right. And I'll take us to our next toss-up. What last name is shared by the English author who wrote the novel Sons and Lovers and the actress who played Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games? Hannah.
Lawrence.
Lawrence is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the St. John River flows into what bay to the south of New Brunswick, which has the highest tidal range in the world?
No answer.
That's your Granite City chance to steal.
No answer.
We're looking for the Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy. For your next toss-up, what 1976 novel in which Dr. William Waller buys the protagonist centers on an enslaved Gambian named Kunta Kinte and is by Alex Haley? The answer you're looking for is Roots. Roots. And that'll take us to our last media question. This character is known for her... Hannah.
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash is correct. Well done.
Oh, sorry.
Also Rainbow Dash, I'm going to guess?
No.
Yeah. That is correct. We'll take it back to the toss-ups. What 12-letter term names a vector quantity given by a definite integral of velocity or by the change in position that is distinct from distance? Emma.
Displacement.
Displacement is correct. Well done. For your bonus, pencil and paper ready. What is the value of x if 5 raised to the x power equals 125 raised to the 5th power? So you guys are all out of time. Sesser-Valier, chance to steal.
5.
5 is incorrect. The answer you're looking for was 15. 15.
No, halfway there.
Your next question. What composer who wrote several operas called Orlando Furioso wrote 4 violin concerti depicting parts of the year in the 4 seasons? Hannah.
Vivaldi.
Vivaldi is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Terence V. Powderly served as the Grand Master Workman of what labor organization that gained prominence in the 1880s before losing ground to the AFL?
No answer.
Granite City chance to steal.
No answer.
And so looking for was the Knights of Labor. The Knights of Labor. And that bell means we are all out of time, so let's take a look at our scores. We have Granite City on top, 320 to Sesser-Valier's 140. So well done, Granite City. You guys are moving on to the next round. So that is all the time we have for on tonight's show. For our lovely contestants here today and the people working hard behind the scenes, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much, and good night.